There comes a point in every man's life when he realizes that youth no longer defines him. The hair may gray, the skin may show lines of time, and the energy of youth might not burn with the same fire it once did. Yet, this is not a downfall. In fact, if approached with wisdom, aging can become a man's greatest strength. You see, while society often glorifies youth, it is maturity, anchored in self-mastery and timeless principles, that makes an older man not only respected but magnetic. Today, on Stoic Loading, we will explore 3 things that always make older men look better, not through vanity, but through the lens of Stoicism. 1. The weight of presence. The first thing that makes older men look better is presence. In Stoicism, presence comes from being rooted in the now. Seneca once wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." With age, a man either learns to waste less, or he drowns in regret. Those who choose awareness, who learn to value their time, develop a kind of gravity. Think about it. A young man may have style, money, or charm, but presence? That is rare. Presence is the ability to make others feel your calm, your control, your centeredness, without saying a word. When an older man carries himself with dignity, shoulders straight, movements intentional, silence unafraid, he radiates something youth cannot mimic. Women notice it. Younger men envy it. The world respects it. It's the aura of someone who has been through storms, yet refuses to be tossed around by them anymore. Presence is not about being the loudest in the room. It's about being the one people feel when you walk in. How does one cultivate it? By practicing the Stoic discipline of attention. Every breath, every step, every conversation becomes a practice in living consciously. Instead of chasing approval, you embody serenity. That presence makes any older man look not just better, but remarkable. 2. The elegance of simplicity. The second thing that elevates older men is simplicity. Stoicism has always praised the simple life. Marcus Aurelius lived as emperor of Rome yet wrote privately about humility, about stripping life of unnecessary clutter. He knew what many men today forget: simplicity is strength. When you are young, it's natural to want to impress, with clothes, cars, status symbols. But as an older man, excess often makes you look desperate. What truly makes you stand out is the elegance of simplicity. A clean, well-fitted shirt. Shoes cared for, not flashy. A calm, measured way of speaking instead of forcing jokes or raising your voice to be heard. Think of simplicity as refinement. Just as time smooths the rough edges of stone, age should smooth the excess from a man's character. People are drawn to those who have nothing to prove, who don't need layers of noise to validate themselves. This applies not only to clothing or style but to behavior. A man who keeps his words measured, who listens more than he speaks, who lives with order instead of chaos, that man looks better, stronger, and more magnetic than someone 20 years younger but drowning in excess. In the Stoic sense, simplicity is not poverty, it's mastery. It shows that you own yourself, that your value isn't hanging on brands or trends. This quiet elegance speaks louder than any luxury could. 3. The light of wisdom. The third and most powerful thing that makes older men look better is wisdom. Age alone does not bring wisdom, many grow old without learning. But those who study themselves, who embrace hardship instead of resenting it, who seek philosophy as guidance, these men carry wisdom like a crown that no one can take away. Epictetus, once a slave, became one of the greatest Stoic teachers. Why? Because he understood that suffering refines if we let it. An older man who learns from his failures instead of hiding them wears a depth in his eyes that no cream, no surgery, no wealth can imitate. That depth is attractive. It is magnetic. Because in a shallow world, depth is rare. Wisdom shows itself in how you react. When others panic, you stay calm. When others complain, you search for solutions. When others boast, you remain humble. This calmness, born of experience and reflection, makes an older man look distinguished, not because of physical perfection, but because of inner alignment. And let us be clear, wisdom is not about knowing everything. It is about knowing yourself. It is about practicing virtue, justice, courage, temperance, and wisdom itself. A man who embodies these values looks better not only in the eyes of others, but in the mirror of his own soul. So, what are the three things that always make older men look better? Presence, simplicity, and wisdom. Presence shows you live consciously. Simplicity shows you are free from vanity. Wisdom shows you have turned life's trials into treasures. Together, they form a force stronger than youth, richer than wealth, and more lasting than beauty. Remember, the Stoic path is not about resisting age, but embracing it with grace. Time is not your enemy. It is your sculptor. If you allow it, time will carve away your fears, your insecurities, your excess, leaving behind the essence of who you are meant to be. On Stoic Loading, we do not chase illusions of eternal youth. We embrace the reality of life, and we make it noble. If you are an older man watching this, know this: you do not need to compete with youth. You need only to embody presence, live with simplicity, and cultivate wisdom. These three things will always make you look better. Because at the end of the day, true attraction, true respect, true beauty, it's not in the face, but in the soul.